Well, here we are again, back at the Bennett household. Thanksgiving is over, and so are the 2 months that we spent at Collins and Collins, where a lot of things happened. But don't worry, things totally calmed down now, and there's no other major drama. This is a lie, but I actually don't remember what happens in this episode. I don't know if we're about to set up some drama or if this is just a little bit more like, and now we're back. So that'll be exciting. We'll find out what's in it together. You and I. Who am I? Oh, my name is Ashley Clements. And this is the Look Back Diaries. You've been watching for all these episodes, but you gotta have a hook that continues to change. Also, check out my Patreon, patreon.com/Ashley Clements, for more of me doing whatever that was, probably. So without watching the episode, here is what I do remember. I remember that this shoot day, which oddly enough, had to have happened in November. We would have shot these before Thanksgiving, about Christmas. I mean, by the end of the arc. This is the only arc. I have spoken greatly on the show about how every month we shot one day, and we shot 8 episodes plus a Q&A, which I like people to remember because I shot 9 episodes a day. This arc is different. There's no Q&A because we shot 10 episodes in one day. And that is because of the timing of the holidays. And I remember when Bernie came to me with that, he said, don't worry about it because it's going to be like the same number of pages. I actually think that this was a lower page count than some of our bigger days. I think the biggest days had as many as 60 pages to shoot, and I actually think we ended up in the 50s for this day, despite the fact that we did more episodes. So the more shorter episodes is essentially what I'm saying. But it's not just the page count, right, that is a thing to contend with, because every new episode meant that I had to change outfits and, maybe tweak something with hair or makeup. And it still is a longer day. And also, almost every episode opens with me monologuing and ends with me monologuing. So more episodes means sort of more monologues. There is an episode in this arc, the final episode that I am not in, that is a Lizzie free episode. So I guess I still did 9, but it was a lot. And it's because otherwise we would have run out of episodes a week before Christmas and then had like 2 weeks to fill before Pemberley during a time when school is off and a lot of people are taking a break, and it would be sort of weird for her to start working at Pemberley Digital on December 27th. But there's a lot of ground to cover here, and we've been away from not just Lizzie's room, the location, but all the people who inhabit the Bennett household. So while Lydia has been off doing her own spin-off, I did a terrible job of reminding us all that started up again whenever she was off the show. And in this case, it was a great excuse to get Jane on, because Jane was never going to be a character who started having her own vlog, but we sent Lydia to Los Angeles, which is our equivalent of Jane going off to London, to see if she runs into Bing and to call on Caroline, which is the socially acceptable thing for a woman to do at the time. And Lydia got to catch up with her there. If you haven't checked out those episodes, there's a complete playlist of the Lizzie Bennett Diaries somewhere, but I didn't do as good a job of sending everyone over to the spinoff. And I'm sorry, I'm just one person with one hand. So we're doing our best over here. We are doing our best. But fun stuff happened in those episodes as well. But that means So those characters have been alive, of course. We didn't kill them. Those characters have been active on their own spin-offs, and also social media, the trans media kept these characters alive. But this is the first time that they all come back, and back on main. That wasn't as much as saying at that time. But I'm going to say they're back on main because if you look at the numbers, still the majority of the people who engaged with this show only engaged with the main show, the Lizzie Bennet Diaries, which means that the majority of them don't necessarily know what happened in the Lydia spinoff and what conversations and connections were happening on social media that continued the kind of characters' lives. So if the main lens was the Lizzie Bennet Diaries, which we know it was for most people, then here we are and these characters are returning. Let's take a look-see-doodle at them and see what happens because I don't remember. Wow, what a convincing actor you are, Lizzie. It's always fun to sort of pretend you're bad at talking publicly when you, well, dare I say I'm actually good at talking publicly. But I know how to deliver scripted lines, and Lizzie maybe doesn't, and also doesn't care to make these convincing. Look how well coordinated we are. We're like both in muted jewel tones. We definitely like held up our clothes together to see if they went. Ah, so we had already established that she just wasn't really watching them even without a big fight. But yeah, that's really just because it was easier to only be making one show at a time. There was no need for Lydia to appear on 2 shows at the same time. Just whenever she's not on Lizzie's show, she goes off to make her own. Yeah, and we spent a lot of time there. Oh, more muted jewel tones. Look at us. And this is that purple hat. Julie and I have discussed this. It's the one thing that she ever wore that we used as the costume piece because, I don't know, it's not like it became a signature Charlotte piece, but then we sort of made it a signature Charlotte piece. Right, yes. Don't blackmail my boss. On camera, I must say that. Oh, that's a gift that became an often used gift. Oh, is this the first time I'm being Mr. Bennett? I think it might be. Oh, we definitely coordinated this a little bit. Oh my God, look at her. Stop. Too cute, too pretty, too. This, I think, is our best coordinated outfit episode. I wish this was one where we got all 4 of us together. That only happens once on camera, so I know it doesn't happen now, but it feels very like we should take a picture together. I'm actually in a sweatshirt. Everyone else is maybe a little bit more fancy than me. A little head nod was unintentionally completely in sync. Oh no, so sorry. Sorry about this, but no. He was busy and I was busy. Yeah, totally understandable. He's not completely blowing you off. He is. He's very much blowing you off. Look how pretty her makeup is. I mean, I'm still doing my own for some reason. Okay, at least the 3 of us are. So we get a Bennett sister screen grab here. Ah, look at Lizzie's face. Look at Lizzie's face. Well, that helps spur, because in the next episode she will reveal. Yeah, gotta get out of this. Okay, so that spurs a bit why as well in the next episode. I feel like I have to warn everybody the truth that maybe he isn't the best human being on the whole planet. I was gonna say maybe not the. He's not the worst. He's not the worst. Okay, people have been genocidal maniacs. George Wickham is not the worst. He's just bad. We just don't like him. I mean, honestly, in some ways, what's more threatening about George is that he is someone that you very much might encounter. George Wickham could be anywhere. But we'll get to him later. Yeah, this is a nice little kind of catch-up episode, I would say, in some ways. Like, because some people haven't been watching the Lydia spinoff, although obviously we make a point here that they should, that Lizzie should, that you should. So, the fact that I forgot to kind of point and link to every episode the way I did the first time, that there was the Lydia spinoff, actually is just me being so in touch with my character that you can find them. I believe in you. I could go back and try to put all the links in appropriately for people who are watching this later. But at any rate, if you now go back and catch up on that section of Lydia rewatches, then you're kind of also in line with a proper rewatch, because that is the way that some people, including the character of Lizzie Bennett, experienced the show. And it was a snappy little 3.5 minutes because, as I said, these episodes are for the most part on the shorter side because we did 10 of them in a day. And then that 10, if I didn't say this earlier, culminates in that we did take a week off, which is totally believable in world. And, we had never taken any time off, but people were very upset. They wanted their twice weekly fix. I remember it also being a little weird that week because I was so used to there being the show twice a week. But so, yes, we ended up kind of getting a little extra content out of this. Honestly, for some reason in my memory, I thought that this section had a bunch of filler episodes, by which I just mean that, not a lot of major stuff happens and we need those breaks. But that feels like a really nice episode to bring back characters that we love and reconnect the sisters. And I guess it doesn't have a major movement on the plot, but it doesn't feel like filler. It never feels like filler to be with great actors that I loved working with. And, it was a little bit of a homecoming for all of us, but it makes the whole thing feel more homey. I don't know, to be back with all these beautifully coordinated, jewel-toned characters, and everyone's hair looks great. Obviously, that's important, but just cozy, familiar, jewel-toned, great. Let's see what y'all thought about it. Uruj Mahmood said, Jane, well, it was really sweet of her to come see me, even though it was very wrong to cut school. Synchronized head nod. Maybe we did. It's been 10 years. I don't even know if we intentionally synchronized the head nod as much as that we just both felt like that's right and we need to say that. But it worked out in a very enjoyable way. Carol Jones says, I can imagine Darcy nodding his approval of Lizzie's reaction to Wickham's return. Oh, somebody with a username I will not try to pronounce says, Lizzie's face when Lydia brings up Wickham! Many exclamation points. Right, well, I guess if you're a viewer who doesn't know what's in the letter, then you don't entirely know why that face was that face. If you're a person who experienced this for the first time, if this was your first experience with Pride and Prejudice, what did you think at that point? Oh, Anna Bowen says, second viewing breaks my heart that Lizzie is telling people to watch Lydia's videos and mocking them because clearly she hasn't watched them and doesn't know what she is going through. But it's also very helpful that we started to set up that Lizzie doesn't really watch them for two reasons. One is just we're kind of establishing that there's room for growth in this relationship, that Lizzie doesn't take her little sister as seriously as she should, doesn't give her enough respect, honestly. It's not even necessarily a love issue as much as it is a respect issue in that way. But also that things can happen on those videos that Lizzie won't know about. But we have also established that Lydia is watching Lizzie's videos. So that is why, of course, the contents of the letter have remained a secret so far. Oh, interesting. Ashley M says, it's not me, it's Ashley M. Says, I love how Lizzie's dad and Darcy voice are about the same in all but their mannerisms. Is that also just Ashley does man voice? Catherine Renner, you have a purple hat. That she does, Lizzie, that she does. Yes, thank you. That's referencing a much later episode. A lot of you reacting to Lizzie's face, not liking Wickham, and that's because you are rewatching and you know. You know. Fun! Well, we've established we're back at the Bennett's house and things will happen with our core cast. We're back with our core cast, and that feels lovely. We love all of our other characters, but the four main gals being in an episode together, that's always nice. There's only a few of those, right? That all four of us are in, so I guess that actually makes that a pretty special episode. So lovely to be back home again.